Excellent.
Hey everyone, my name is Spencer McIntyre, and I'm going to be talking about a new feature that is going to be coming out in the upcoming release of Metasploit version 6 beta, and that is SMBv3 support for the client connections that are coming from the framework. SMBv3 is a very exciting feature for us to be adding because it adds in support for encrypted connections, which is what we're going to be showing today. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be walking through a scenario in which this might actually be helpful for a user, and we're going to demonstrate that by utilizing the PSexec module, which is what we're loading now. Now, once we have the module loaded, we can go ahead and take a look at the options. Not much has changed here. However, you'll notice that when we show the target, we have an additional target, and that is the command target. What this is going to allow us to do is, as the name implies, execute a command on the remote operating system and get the response back from that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set our target to command, and then because we want to set a explicit command as the payload, we need to go ahead and set our payload to cmd/windows/generic, and this allows us to specify the operating system command that we're going to execute as cmd. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set our command to this PowerShell command that I had in my clipboard. This might look familiar to a lot of you pen testers out there. This is going to download and invoke the Mimikatz PowerShell script from the Empire project. Now I've downloaded and I've taken a look at the source code, and it's on an internal system, as you can see here. So we know we're not just downloading stuff from GitHub, because that would be bad news. With that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to dump our credentials. And so this is going to obviously print out a bunch of sensitive, secretive information that we're then going to be downloading over the SMB connection as part of our PSexec process. So definitely something that we wouldn't necessarily want to be transferred in plain text. We don't necessarily want all of our passwords from our target system to be transferred over the network in the clear. So we're going to show how the new SMBv3 connection is going to help us protect that. So with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at our options one more time, and we're going to start to set up the additional options so that way we can run this module against our target host. So as usual, we set up our host, we set up our username, our domain, our password, and we're going to take a look at our options one more time before we're ready to run this. Everything looks good, except we're missing a delay. The Mimikatz command takes a few seconds to run, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set CMD delay to about 10 seconds. So we're going to give it a little bit of time to go ahead and run. If we don't, we're going to run into an error. And with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to kick the module off, and we can see it's taking a few seconds because we have added in that 10-second delay because the PowerShell needs to pull down and execute the PowerShell script, and we can see the results here. So looking through it, this looks wonderful. This is all the output that we would have expected from Mimikatz to have dumped. This is all of our sensitive information. So we have all of this available to us. We were able to transfer this over the network, of course, via the SMB share. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what this looked like from Wireshark. So I had Wireshark running in the background here, and we can see our SMB protocol negotiation requests, and then we set up our session. We're authenticating as the MSF Lab S McIntyre account, and then after that, it switches over to this encrypted SMBv3 connection. So this is the new feature right here. So we've negotiated SMBv3, and we've automatically connected up and enabled encryption. So all of our information here is all protected in transit. Looking through the session, we can't exactly see any of the information as we would expect. It's all been encrypted. Now, if you notice, we didn't have to set up any kind of enable encryption option or anything like that. That's because the new feature automatically negotiates SMBv3 encryption when SMBv3 is supported on the remote server. That's going to be the case for Windows 8.0 and Server 2012, which is when SMBv3 was added to Windows. Now what we're going to do is we are going to explicitly disable SMBv3 by setting the option to specify an older version of the protocol. So we're going to take this SMB protocol version, and we're going to tell it to not negotiate protocol version 3, and we're going to take a look at the difference. So here we're setting it explicitly to number 2. Checking our options one more time. We have Wireshark running again. Just going to go ahead and reset this. Pulling it up side by side here. We have our protocol version is explicitly set to 2 this time, so Metasploit will not negotiate SMB protocol 3, and thereby it will not have encryption available to it. And we can see here that after the session is established, we can see the tree connect requests, the tree connect responses, create request file here. So we can actually see what PSexec is doing, and that's because our connection now, of course, is unencrypted. So we're going to take a look through here, and now that we can see that we have the output from Mimikatz, we're going to go ahead and take a look, see if we can find the output in the stream here, thus showing that it is leaking the sensitive information that Mimikatz is returning in its output. I'm going to pull this up, and we can see here in the data payload, we can see Benjamin Delpy's name, so the author, and so this looks like it is the output from Mimikatz. We can see here that it's all in plain text. So this would of course be a problem if you're trying to not leak information over the network. So taking a look through the results here, we have our login time. This looks like all of the information from Mimikatz. So with that, we have shown that with the new SMBv3 capabilities, the connection, is encrypted by default and automatically. But if users still want to, for whatever reason, explicitly only utilize SMBv2, they can go ahead and set that protocol version in there. So again, by default, when Metasploit is connecting to a server that supports SMBv3, it's going to be Windows 8.0 and newer, and Server 2012 and newer. It is going to attempt to connect and establish encryption using SMBv3. Thanks, everyone. Till next time.
Excellent.